It's been just a little over a week since Hytale entered early access. But, is it any good? Let's talk about it. To answer this question, I have three categories that we're going to discuss. A. What defines an early access game and what makes one good? B. Is Hytale early access any good? And C. What are some changes I would make to Hytale? So, what makes an early access game any good? Personally, I might have a bit of an unpopular opinion about this. In fact, I'm going to use a game as an example. Slime Rancher, when it entered early access, people weren't all up in arms about it. In fact, a lot of people found it really good, even though it didn't necessarily have a point at the time other than just stuff slimes in a corral and get as much money as you could. This was Slime Rancher's first early access release. Just a few slimes, a corral, an incinerator, a garden, a coop, and the UI looked like this. People are a bit too harsh these days when it comes to games, saying that games need to have this and that and this and that to be any good. In fact, I think the discourse about what makes a game good has kind of gotten in the way of people enjoying things. So personally, I wouldn't really define anything in early access as not really worth your time. So, would I personally give it a shot? Yes. Do I think it's worth it? Initially, I was led to believe through the Hytale Twitter, or at least mostly from Simon himself, that Hytale was only going to release initially with a creative mode. Now, whether that was actually the case, or I was just very confused, who knows, honestly. But, to my surprise, day one, there was already a survival mode. So, when I booted it up day one and started playing with my friends, I was pleasantly surprised. The Hytale team, especially Simon himself, initially made it seem like the game was going to be an absolute disaster day one, and that there was going to be basically no content of the game. But to everyone's surprise, there is so much content in the game, and for the most part, it is incredibly polished, and it looks fantastic. Not to mention, it's incredibly fun. At least, I think so. Not to mention, compared to another game we all know, I think some of the features in it are fleshed out much better than Minecraft. At least, combat for a start is pretty dang good, and I think I would prefer it over Minecraft's combat. But this isn't about that. Hytale Day 1 already had an insane amount of content, from like 40 plus creatures for you to discover. In fact, I'm sure there are over hundreds, to be honest, to so many building materials, so many different workbenches for you to explore different aspects of the game with. There is so much content in this game. So many structures just existing. NPCs, which for the most part right now are lacking in some functionality. There are a few that you can trade with, but most of them, I'm sure, are tied to special events for later. In terms of biome and structure diversity, I think this game is already on a fantastic start. A thing to note, however, is it is temperature mapped, so it'll always be the same. North and south will always be cold and hot, to my knowledge. So that's honestly really cool. If you want to go to the desert, you go to the south. You want to go to the ice biomes, you go to the north. I don't actually know if I got that right. Anyway, there are a lot of biomes for you to explore, and a lot of structures, and they look incredibly good. And also, the mods. By like day 2 of Hytale's existence, there were already over like 2,000 mods, which is insane. Not to mention, I hear and have seen from Twitter posts that modding in this game is apparently incredibly easy. This game, for an early access release, already has so much content. Like, so much content. It is insane. And that's even without mods. Not to mention, it's getting updated pretty frequently. It's already had quite a few updates. In fact, they just added new biomes, a new ore, and dinosaurs, which unfortunately I didn't get to experience. Right as soon as I left off the stream, my friends ended up discovering them without me. God damn it. You're not gonna need to worry about the content in this game. There is already so much content. And I haven't even touched creative mode yet. I have experimented a little bit with building, but not too much. Now, as for changes I'd make to the game, honestly, so far they're doing a really good job at quickly adding a lot of the features that I think need some changing. For example, they've already added the ability to toggle your armor off. They're already adding even more cosmetics. And I initially had a gripe with the ladders, but I think it just took some getting used to. So honestly, I don't really have any gripes. Of course, I have seen some people struggle a little bit with the building. Throw up the clip.
How are you guys building across?
Why did it work on those sides but not this side, man? The fuck am I doing wrong? I just have to put one more? I can't even get the game to acknowledge that I'm trying to build right here anymore. It's so fucky. Like, I can't place anything right now. Is it just because there's nothing to put it on?
I haven't gotten to messing with some of the more intricate building stuff just yet in the world I have with my cousin, because I haven't started roofing my house. I don't know how that's gonna feel, whether it's gonna be super clunky or difficult, or if people are just being a little silly when attempting to build. Of course, I will note that things like farming, for example, that is actually a change I would make. I want infinite water sources, please. It is really annoying to suddenly just have a water piece missing and not have that fill in. It's really annoying. Please change that. But as for building, I haven't really touched that much yet, so I can't really speak on it. So, do I think Hytale's worth it in its current state? Absolutely I do. Yes, 100%. It's fantastic. It's already so polished. It's already got so much content, and they're very, very quickly adding so much more. Of course, for now, it's most likely gonna be quality of life features, but heck, even like, I think it was day 3, they were like, hey, here's dinosaurs, plus a new biome, plus a new ore. So, I have faith in the Hytale team. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.